Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, New here. Welcome back to my channel. So, this is a random video idea that I've had because I've been studying my cards a lot, and I figured that I'd just film what I've been learning. So, let me know if this is a topic that interests you, okay? Because honestly, I have no idea. Okay, so let's get started. So today I want to talk about the cards that I feel like are the best to receive in a romantic reading, like what to look for and which cards have the most successful or like the best romantic implications. Um, Basically just what to look for in a love reading that states that you are in a good relationship or are about to get into one. And I wanted to bring you guys on this journey with me. So honestly, let's just say that this is part one of many, because as I continue to study these cards, I find that there are more and more interpretations that I really want to talk about. Um, so, with this video, I'm introducing a brand new deck that I pre ordered that just came out on September 1st, and it's called The Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitami. And I've linked the deck below if you guys want to take a look, okay? But this deck is so beautiful, and each card is represented by a folk tale or a myth from different cultures all around the world. And honestly, like, one of the things I really want to do with this channel is invest in decks by black artists and by artists of color, BIPOC artists, and just showcase them to you guys. So I definitely hope to be purchasing new decks whenever I'm able to. Um, But for this video, I've picked 11 cards that I think have a really positive implication when it comes to love readings. So whether you're reading for yourself or having somebody reading for you, these cards are like, definitely look out for these cards. And please note that every reader interprets cards differently. So a reader might feel something different or interpret a card differently, and this is just how I look at these cards. And for each card, I'm going to talk about the meaning of the card and the story behind the illustration on the card. Um, and I did do some research for both the meaning and the story, so I'm gonna have my like links below in the description box so you guys know where I got my information. Okay. Um, but let's get started. So the first card is the Lovers. Okay, and with this card, I think of the phrase, I choose you. And honestly, this is like the ultimate love card. It's all about love and harmony and trust and mutually choosing one another. I think of like passion, desire, mutual attraction, reciprocation, new relationships, and deeper feelings. And most of all, like, balance. A lot of times the lovers represent dark and light, opposites coming together and conjoining to create intense soul bonding love that crosses lifetimes. Okay, so this card is all about soulmates. As you can see, this card is represented by Beauty and the Beast, and I know most of you already probably know this story, but we just have the light and dark. Again, Beauty and the Beast, they are inherently opposites. And Belle and the Beast, who are so different, who are from such different walks of life, who are quite literally opposites, were only brought together through their love for each other. Okay, so I really feel like the Lovers is the ultimate love card, and that's why I wanted to go over that first. Um, okay, so the next few cards are for our cups energy. So the cups represents like the water element, and it's all about inner work. It's all about emotions and feelings, okay? So the first card here is the Ace of Cups. Um The Ace of Cups is really all about new beginnings. This card is the ultimate signification of a new relationship. Okay? It represents happiness, love, new emotions, and compassion. It's not just like a fling, though. It's like the beginnings of deep love and allowing love to flow, removing blockages that prevented you from allowing yourself to feel love for a person. Okay? Again, like a lot of emotion, feeling, inner work, things like that are what is represented with the Cups energy. Okay, so if you look at this card, it is represented by a Japanese myth about the creation of sake, which is a very popular drink in Japan. And also, just a disclaimer, like, I am not part of many of these cultures, and if I do mispronounce anything or I say something that's incorrect, please let me know. This is just what I came up with my own research, but I'm not part of most of the cultures that I'm going to talk about in this video. So please let me know if I mispronounce something, if I say something wrong, like, if you're able to, I would really appreciate that. But again, this card is represented by a Japanese myth about the creation of the very popular drink sake. So it shows a shrine called Matsuo Taisha, which is from like ancient Kyoto, and it enshrines a water god who is of special importance to Kyoto's sake brewing house, or sake brewing houses. The shrine is cited as the first sake in Japan, and sake is deeply significant in Japanese culture. So this picture is representing an important new beginning. Okay, so that's the story behind the illustration on the card. And as you can see, it really pertains to what the Ace of Cups is talking about. A new beginning with a person in a romantic context. A new beginning with a person that is the start of something so important. It's the start of something that is a legacy, something that is meant to be long-standing. Okay, so it's the Ace of Cups. The next card is the Two of Cups. Okay, I hope you guys can see this clearly. The Two of Cups, I think of good communication. Using communication to overcome difficulties in a relationship. This card represents somebody seeing their partner as an equal and seeing a partner as worthy of putting in the work. It represents communicating and working through problems in a relationship. And I think of like mutual respect, communicating to make it work and committing to make it work, understanding duality and making differences make you stronger as a partnership. So the Two of Cups signifies that a relationship is more than just the honeymoon phase, when everything seems perfect. But the honeymoon phase fading is a natural part of the relationship. But getting past that fade, that's true love, and that's what I think of when this card shows up. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you guys better what the illustrations look like on this card. So this card is represented by two characters in the Epic of Gilgamesh. So it's an epic poem from ancient Mesopotamia. I'm pretty sure I read it in high school at some point for a class, but honestly that was so long ago, so I'm not even sure. But basically here, this character, Gilgamesh, he is a powerful king of a kingdom called Uruk. And Enkidu, this man here, was created by the gods to be Gilgamesh's equal in every way and to prevent him from becoming too powerful and oppressing his people. But these two were absolute enemies, but as they worked together, they grew to love each other and understand each other. Okay, Enkidu brings Gilgamesh balance, and what was once a turbulent relationship became such a loving and understanding partnership, right? So, again, the Two of Cups, it's representative of the Two of Cups because you have a partnership that is turbulent becoming one of unbreakable strength because of communication and commitment to understanding each other. Okay? So, the next card I want to bring up is the Ten of Cups, which we have here. Okay, so with the Ten of Cups, I think of the phrase, I deserve to find joy in love. I think of reunion, emotional and spiritual fulfillment after times of hardship, security, wholeness. Okay, I feel like when this card comes up, it's after someone has been through a very tough self-love journey, like going through a tough connection that then throws you into a journey with yourself. And after you have faced your own shadows head on and you finally come full circle and found or are about to find a harmonious connection that aligns with your values and boundaries, like you finally come full circle, that's when the Ten of Cups comes up. And it's not just because you found the one, but also because you found yourself and done the work to demand proper treatment, you know. And so as for the card, here's the illustration. I couldn't find much about the story behind this card. I know that it's an Arabic folktale from Persia. The woman here, her name is Junlar, and she's the woman of the sea. She's faced many trials when it comes to love, and when she finally finds a man for herself, the picture in the card represents her brother coming up from the sea to congratulate her. And so after a long and turbulent trial for love, she's finally found a family and security and everything that she's ever wanted. Okay? So now we're gonna move on to Pentacles energy. So in this particular deck, they call the Pentacles coins. But oh wait, actually I lied. We're gonna move on to the Wands energy. I'm sorry about that. Pentacles is next. So with the Wands energy, that is fire energy. So it's all about passion and fire, and just it is in the physical, but also just like inner passion is what I think of when I think of the Wands. So we have the Four of Wands here. Okay, so with the Four of Wands, I think I'm in love and I want everyone to know. I think of rejoicing and festivities. This card makes me think a lot of public displays of love, like a partner showing you off to your family and friends, introducing you to their people and community, taking you out, or proposing in a big and public way. The Four of Wands is all about a firm foundation, okay, being somebody's home, having grounded love. But in this context, like, I think a lot more of like the public love type situation. So this picture is from a Tamil folk tale from India about Aravan and Mohini. So Aravan was alive in the midst of a great war. This man right here called the Mahabharata and was chosen to sacrifice himself to the goddess of Kali in order to bring strength to his people. And his only wish before he died or was sacrificed was that he didn't want to die a virgin. So he wanted to get married. But no woman wanted to marry him because they would become a widow the next day. So the god Krishna took on the female form of Mohini and married Aravan in a beautiful ceremony. So the god Krishna took on his female form, and here it is right here, Mohini. And there's a beautiful ceremony for their marriage, which is depicted in this card. Just a very public ceremony of marriage. Okay, and that's kind of the representation of the Four of Wands, quite literally. Okay, so now we are at the Pentacles, or the coins as it's called in this deck. And the coins is all about earth energy, so physical actions of love in the 3D. So first we have the Ten of Coins, or also known as the Ten of Pentacles. So with the Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Coins, I think of the phrase, I am safe with you. I think of legacy, entering or sustaining a relationship with a mature and dependable partner who makes you feel safe. Creating a family, creating generational wealth for you and your future children and grandchildren. I think of security, physical acts of security, okay, like having a partner who's providing for you, creating a business together, purchasing a house together, things like that, like physical acts of security. And this card, here's the illustration. This card is illustrated and represents a Chinese legend. Basically, it's the Panhu myth, and it's about a dragon dog who's transformed into a man and married to a princess. So a king in China offered to marry his daughter to anybody that would present him with the head of his enemy, which was accomplished by Panhu. Eventually, Panhu and the princess had many sons and daughters who became the famous 12 clans that are represented in Chinese mythology. So here we have a picture of a big family, a big legacy that was created by Panhu and the princess that he married. That's really what the Ten of Coins is about. It's all about creating in the physical with your person, physical acts of love, not just feelings, which I feel like is really important. It's all about actions to back up your words of commitment. That's what this card is about. Ooh, okay. So now we're gonna move on to the major arcana cards, and those are all about the universal path towards understanding. Okay, so the 7th card is the Empress. The Empress, I think of, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for love. She is ruled by Venus, the planet that is all about love, fertility, and abundance. Okay, and she's the embodiment of love. The Empress represents the perfect relationship with yourself and with others. With the Empress, when the Empress shows up and it's your own energy, it means that you've done the work to open yourself to a mutually beneficial relationship. Sometimes this card appears for single people who have learned to take care of themselves and are thriving in the world and are glowing and attracting so many people. Sometimes it shows up in when you're in a relationship and you are healthy and are independent in your own way. you're able to take care of yourself and handle business, but still with a person. It shows up when you're in a very healthy, mutually beneficial, mutually, just like a mutual relationship. Okay, so this card is represented by Our Lady of Guadalupe, who is a Mexican symbol of faith and identity. She represents many things, among which are femininity and motherhood. Okay, so she is an idol of femininity, which is really what the Empress is about. Just owning feminine energy and being powerful through it. Okay, so the next card is the Hierophant. So I think of commitment when I see this card, but in a traditional sense. I think of traditional love, marriage, and following the norm, honoring cultural rituals and tradition. Like, if you receive the Hierophant in a reading, a ceremony or ritual that may occur that defines your relationship in a significant way, which in the most traditional sense could mean a marriage. Now, with the Hierophant, I think a lot about sticking to your culture. So, like, finding a relationship with somebody of your own culture and having all of your cultural practices with them. So, for example, if you are Tamil, like my family, finding a Tamil man and having a South Indian wedding with all the traditions. That's what I see with the Hierophant. Okay, so I'm so sorry you guys had to step away for a second. So this card is represented by a Lakota myth. And basically, the chief of the Lakota sent out 2 scouts to hunt for food. And while the young men traveled, they saw a white cloud in the distance. Then, from the cloud, they saw a woman. And as they approached, they saw that it was a beautiful young woman in white buckskin. At the time, and this is the woman, by the way, and she is called, I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right. She's called the White Buffalo Woman. At this time, the woman explained that she was a Wakan, or holy, and she explained that if they did as she instructed, their people could rise again. And the scout promised to do as she was instructed and was told to return to the encampment, call the council, and prepare a feast for her arrival. She taught the Lakota 7 sacred ceremonies to protect the Mother Earth. And so with this woman was born many traditions and ritual practices that continue through generations. And that's really what the Hierophant is about. Just following tradition, building tradition, things like that. Okay. So the next card is the Devil. And with the Devil, I think I crave you. This card might be really surprising to come up as a romantic card, but honestly, I see it as conveying a deep, sensual, primal energy. The Devil card rules over pleasure and sexuality and lust, and I think that these are really important aspects of romantic relationships. You know, having passion and sexual compatibility. The Devil card rules over pleasure and lust, and I think that these are really important aspects of romantic relationships when balanced with other cards, depending on the reading. I look at this card as having romantic implications, but it's really all about balance. So having lust is and sexual compatibility in a relationship is so important, but if that's all you have, then that can lead to toxic situations, right? So you need it to be balanced with other aspects of a romantic relationship. So this card is represented by Boitata, a mythological serpent from Brazil, and it comes specifically from the native Tupi people of Brazil. So according to the legend, there was once a long period of darkness where the sun did not shine, and the conditions killed many animals and forced beasts to flee their natural habitat. Among the displaced survivors was the giant cave anaconda. Emerging from its lair, it began to eat the eyes of the dead, which shone brightly in the darkness and made for a meal for the snake. And as the snake ate more and more of these eyes, its body began to shine too. But eventually, just eating the eyes of these creatures steadily weakened the snake, and it died. And upon its death, all the light collected inside it escaped to the sun, and the dark days were finally over. And that's the story behind the image on this card. Okay, the next card is the sun. So the sun is all about celebration. Okay, there's positive energy, fertility. If the sun comes into a reading, it could be a pregnancy coming up if you're trying to get pregnant. Big steps forward and the disappearance of obstacles. There's a lot of fun with this card. Okay, I think of just enjoying yourself with your partner, laughing until your stomach hurts, going on dates, just having a good time. And if this card comes up while you're in a bad situation, it is confirmation that abundance is coming in for you and the light is going to return. So just a very happy card in general. And this card is represented by the Egyptian god Ra, who is the god of the sun. So it makes sense. And this is the artwork. Okay. Now, the last card that I personally think is really important, and this is just a personal thing because I don't really see this card as having a romantic implication to others, but to me it does. And that is the Hermit. The Hermit to me is, I'm ready to love myself. I wanted to include this card because I perceive it as a path to achieving self-love. This card calls for you to be deeply introspective, retreat into yourself, face your demons and negative traits, and love yourself anyway. A lot of times I feel like the Hermit prepares us to reap the benefits and love offered to us by others that is shown in the cards above, or that I just talked about. The Hermit leads us to the Empress energy. It balances us so we can balance our relationship with the Two of Cups. It allows us to enjoy the lust that comes with the devil while still having a loving, wonderful experience and relationship. So, and it can be applied to every single other card. Those are just examples. So this is the card that makes us find the truth about ourselves and still give ourselves unconditional love, and opens us up to be able to find other love from others. So this card is represented by a cloaked figure reaching for a white stag. The white stag is associated with a Celtic myth, and it's an indicator that the other world is near. This stag was often a messenger and guide from the other worlds, and following this animal led the unsuspecting human into contact with the supernatural. The white stag encourages people to drop everything and pursue their own personal spiritual journey, which is very relevant to the Hermit. Okay, so those are the 11 cards that I had for you guys here with the Divine, the Tarot of the Divine. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys like this series. I would love to continue because this is honestly so much fun for me. Please feel free to email me, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.